What's up, everyone? It's Cannan, and welcome to my first reaction to a Resonator combat showcase and the regular showcase. From now on, I am going to be covering Wuthering Waves content, and I want to go ahead and preface that, hey, I am not here to do builds or meta or anything like that. I sometimes have trouble keeping up with some characters' lore. I am here just to enjoy this game and the upcoming stuff that's coming for it. But, hey, you never know. I might surprise you guys with some lore videos. You never know. But, yes, this will be my first time fully doing a Resonator showcase and a trailer. And, well, no, we've not got the trailer yet. But 2.6 Part 2 is coming up in a couple of days. This was meant to go up originally this morning, but plans changed. But yeah, very excited to see it. This is going to be for Iuno. This will be her combat showcase, which I was originally going to just react to, but they released her Resonator showcase just last night, very late at night, like they always do. So yeah, I'm going to be doing both of them in this video. Last time in 2.6 we got Augusta, which was amazing. I did not react to that one, so I just decided at the last minute to start with Iuno. But spoilers for 2.6 Part 1, so if you've not played it yet, please ignore what I'm about to say. But Iuno vanished. No one remembers her except Rover, and Kuro is even going as far as removing her from the 2.6 art, which is kind of weird because technically we, the player, are Rover, so we would remember her. but yeah, it comes out in a couple of days. Sadly, a achievement in the game has kind of already spoiled Part 2's ending, probably, but I will not go into that in case you are someone who is trying to ignore any kind of news coming out for Part 2 of 2.6. I topped off recently, so I am more than ready to pull Iuno, but I'm also going for her weapon, and I'm also going for Chacona's weapon because I missed it the first round. Then we've got Galbrina coming, and if the leaks are true, we might be having a Cartathea rerun. I don't know if it's 100% yet, but I kind of hope so because I need her weapon as well. But anyway, hope you enjoy our content. If you do, please hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, click that like button, leave a comment, all that good stuff. So let's start off with Iuno's combat showcase. Kuro Games. The moon, okay. Oh, we got some 2D animation. Oh, I hope they do these from now on. Oh my gosh, her legs. Okay.
I am the moon that never falls, here to rewrite the ending.
Okay. We did get that gameplay leak back before Augusta launched. But, yeah, they're showing Wax.
I am the moon.
Yeah, she's a trash talker as well, which is kind of funny. I love how fluid her animations are. Like, she almost she almost fights like a dancer character. It kind of reminds me of the dancer class from Final Fantasy XIV. Yep, we've seen this, her going underneath the water, so to say. And then, yes, her weapon is a bow as well. Oh! Oh, is that her full alt animation? I've only seen the thing with her feet. Okay. Oh, we got more.
Flames of fate lit long ago.
Is that her? Is that her? Oh.
A priestess born in a lunar eclipse. Sees what others never will.
So it started off as just a regular bow and arrow?
Anchor the future of sex. From that moment on, the life of Iuno was thus ordained.
All right, so I'm not going to go too much into this because I am not exactly a combat, specialist or anything. But for one, I love this opening. They did not do this with Augusta, I don't think, but we got like a full 2D animated opening here. And I know a lot of people want a Wuthering Waves anime because, I mean, look at her. Looks awesome in 2D. But, like, I have a feeling they would go with male Rover as the Rover of the anime, and I don't want that because I am a female Rover player, all true and true. But, yes, I love this animation. And, like, the finale trailer that we got that was all animated, that was amazing. But, yeah, it looks like they're definitely, man, Kuro knows what they're doing. This character and her feet, I swear. The fact that her Tastic mark is completely on her foot. And then, of course, it goes into the actual art of her. I am the moon that never falls. And once again, we're going with this motif of her being the moon, where Augusta is the sun. And I know a lot of people were confused why Augusta is the sun if she is an Electro character. But if you pay attention in science class, you'll actually know that plasma, what the sun is actually electrical in nature and not fire. Plus, fire and electric kind of go hand in hand because, I mean, lightning is extremely hot, very, very hot. Like, you literally get burns when you are electrocuted. So, yeah, electricity and heat kind of go hand in hand. But I love this art. Her art has been really, really well done. Like, they are putting a lot of emphasis in her art. They're also putting a lot of emphasis with her legs and her feet, which, yes, her Tastic mark is on her feet, on her foot, so she's not going to be wearing shoes, though in some scenes I could have sworn she was wearing shoes. And then we just get the combat that we have seen from her. I guess this right here is a little bit of an idle motion, her yawning and stretching. But one thing I've noticed about her combat is how fluid and smooth she moves. And like I said, she kind of reminds me of a dancer in a way. Not just because of what she's wearing. It's very dancer-esque, but we've got to remember she is a priestess. She's a seer, pretty much. So, and right here you can see she's wearing heels. So at some point during her combat, her shoes come off. And it also doesn't help that her weapon, for most of the time, looks like a giant chakram. Which is usually in many games a dancer's weapon. It's like that in Final Fantasy XIV, and a lot of her movements are very, I don't want to say breakdancing, but very dancer mixed with martial arts kind of thing going on. This move right here was amazing. This is amazing. There's also a lot of motif with water with her, and I'm wondering. And there she states, I am the moon. But I'm wondering if that is going to be a story aspect of why she is able to dive into the ground and it become water. Because it kind of reminds me of like a dreamscape in a way when she does go into the water. See, because we've got all these patterns up in the sky while she's fighting. And yes, her chakram is also a bow and arrow. So even though she's a gauntlet user, technically. But yeah, so there's a lot of imagery here that I'm guessing is going to be more focused on her story in the second part of 2.6, because the achievement that sadly kind of spoils us kind of makes me think that a different kind of world is involved. Because right here, she literally dives into the ground and it's like water. And usually when you use water like that in storytelling like this, it's usually like it's either a dreamscape or it's like a sign of rebirth, like Kingdom Hearts, Birth by Sleep. And Kingdom Hearts has a lot of water motifs, especially in their openings. So I'm wondering if it's giving us a clue in to where she went after everyone's memory of her was erased, and I'm wondering if they just incorporated that into her combat. Now we see right here the chakram is now in its bow form, and it's kind of funny how Kuro takes, like, they're still staying true to their weapons format, even though the kind of weapon the characters technically use is not one of the weapons that you can equip. It's like characters like Zani or Lupa. You know, Zani uses a shield that can change into a giant greatsword, and she's a gauntlet user. Lupa uses her spear, but she's a greatsword user. And Iuno uses a chakram and bow mix, and she's a gauntlet user. Chikone mostly uses her voice. She's a gun user. So yeah, like they've found unique ways to still stay true to their weapons when the characters don't exactly wield those weapons like on screen. Now, this right here, I've seen her ultimate before, but when I've seen it before, it just went directly into the thing where she bounces the little ball on her foot. This right here is different. This is new. So I don't know if this is just story aspect being thrown in and then the ultimate, or if all of this is seen, like her silhouette right here is seen when you do the ultimate. And this right here, like, you know, we know what this is. And then feet, there's your free feet. Then we get the ultimate where her eyes glow, and she releases a strong blast from her bow. So I'm wondering if that's either something they've added or if that's them including some story into her combat showcase. I love this. I love the moon with the Wuthering Waves title in front of it. Now, this was interesting. We see the flames of fate lit long ago. We see Iuno picking up a very nice looking bow, and she has a quiver with arrows on her back, something that she does no longer have because she has her chakram. So I'm wondering if this is definitely her past that we are seeing, a priestess born in a lunar eclipse. So, you know, she was born during a lunar eclipse. See what others never will. And of course, she's a priestess. She's she's kind of almost a seer in a way as well. To anchor the future of Septimon, because we know she is not dead because she claims that she has already seen her end. And the events of 2.6 Part 1 was not her end. So what I believe, from that moment on, the life of Iuno was ordained. I believe that's what it says. But, so it screams to me that she is in another, like, world, or maybe she's even in a sonosphere at this point. But we'll find out in a couple of days. So yes, that was the combat showcase. We are now going to move over to the Resonator showcase. So let's get right over there. All right, here we are. Wuthering Waves, Resonator showcase. Iuno, anchor the future. Let's see what we got.
The flames of fate lit long
All right,
ago.
same thing that we saw at the end of the combat showcase. So they teased the Resonator showcase at the end of the combat.
Sees what others never will.
She's so
Anchor the future
smooth in all of her motions. Fitting of an archer, if you ask me.
From that moment on, the life of Iuno was thus ordained. As the prophecy foretold, I seek the threads of causality. Whatever I see will come to pass.
Yeah, so she's a priestess, but she is literally almost like
absolute truth
a seer in like
until
Roman and Greek mythology.
Calamity's descent.
Yep, Yep. The dark tide is definitely coming.
Septimon's doom. And our final hour.
she also saw the death of
If this is
Augusta.
the future in its entirety, how am I to relay it? The further I see, the closer I approach the deathly quiet. The more I observe, the clearer the unthinkable end becomes. If such cruelty awaits, what value remains to speak of?
That's definitely Armageddon. Oh, is this a younger version of
What are
herself?
you drawing?
The great priestess saving Septimont, of course.
But I've never seen such an ending.
That music.
So what? Who says you can only draw what you've seen? Isn't it up to you how it should
That is
be?
so her.
Here, give it a try.
That's so her because that's her feisty side. That's one thing that drew a lot of people to Is that she's very feisty. She's very sassy. And I wonder. See, when I see the Dark Tide coming, I don't see fire in Armageddon. I see like darkness, the Dark Tide, that and the Thernodian, like this almost H.P. Lovecraft kind of monster rising from the depths, This is so awesome. Look at this. Oh, she broke it. That's what I think when I think Dark Tide, right there. Oh, the False Sovereign. That was almost a Matrix dodge there.
The moon refuses to shine on the darkness ahead.
Oh, it's coming back. Ooh.
Then it's up to me.
Oh, that smooth transition into the bow.
Draw fate's bow and release it where I choose.
The flames of fate lit long ago. The gifted priestess would anchor the future of Septimont.
Wow.
From that moment on, my destiny was always mine to define.
Okay. So she's pretty much written herself as the one who will defeat the Dark Tide? So is that what we're alluding to? That she's written herself as the one who will deliver Septimont from the Dark Tide? Because here's the thing, though. Here's one thing we have got to keep in mind here, especially with a character like this who can see the future pretty much. Where does Rover fit in all of this? Because it's obvious from what I can tell, never saw Rover in any of her visions. Unless I'm missing some dialogue from part 1 of 2.6. That might be why shows so much interest in Rover. Rover is a complete anomaly in her visions. But I really like the storytelling here. I like that her power is almost a curse. Because she feels like everything she sees, she is powerless to stop it. And she is literally seeing the death and destruction of Septimont at the hands of the Dark Tide. Because it seems like ever since we arrived in Septimont, that whenever the Dark Tide finally decides to attack, Septimont is going to be the first casualty. It's not going to be Raguna. It's going to be Septimont. like Septimont will be the first line of defense. Which, on one hand, you would think, well, you know, a city full of warriors, that would make sense. Especially since we know at the plateau where all that residual dark tide stuff is, that's more than likely where it's going to rise from. And so when the Thernodian finally decides it's time, Iuno sees Septimont just completely being overwhelmed by tacit discords. And like she's struggling with that. She feels like that she can do nothing to prevent it. And in 2.6 Part 1, we saw that she has already seen Augusta dying trying to save Septimont. And, you know, I'm sure there's still people asking, where's Lupa in all this, because she was not in 2.6 Part 1. Lupa is resting, okay? She went through all that in her patch, going through that scenario multiple times before she finally defeated it on her own. Lupa needs rest, okay? Because she is probably going to be one of the top defenders of Septimont when that time comes. So I do not blame Koro whatsoever for putting Lupa on the back burner right now, because she needed the rest. This is Augusta and Iuno's story right now, so we will get back to Lupa when things really start to go down. Now, these tacit discords, have we seen some of these? We've seen before, but these big ones, like these ones right here, have we seen these before? These don't look recognizable to me, unless it's some of the rock ones back here, but this one kind of looks like, I don't know, they look different to me. But she's literally seeing the fall of Septimont and the warriors being massacred by TDs. And then this little sheepish kid's like, you know, I'm drawing the Great Priestess saving Septimont, but I've never seen such an ending. You know, well, who cares? Who says you can only draw what you see? And it's obvious this is a young Iuno that is trying to tell her, stop restricting yourself. And I like it because this younger version has that spark, has that feisty sassiness that we've seen in Iuno's character. So it's almost like the biggest reason why she does not uphold herself to former priestesses is because this part of her never died. She never grew out of this side of her, which was to question everything, to not be so boorish and sticking to tradition. And that's, I think, what a lot of people like about Iuno. She's kind of a rebel who got a high position, and a lot of people in Septimont do not like her being in that position because she's not traditional. And I think that's what drew a lot of people to her. And so, yes, she decides to pretty much rewrite what she has seen, and instead of just standing and watching everyone die, she fights back, and very successfully. Like, you know, I got to give her credit. Her and that bow can do a lot. Plus, when it's in its chakram form as well. So we get her fighting TDs, and then eventually the instrument that she is using breaks, and that is when the false sovereign shows up, which does give her some trouble. And I like how she throws her chakram, and you know, the false sovereign kind of dodges it like it's in the Matrix. And I love how she summoned it. She almost summoned it like a Destructo disc. But she throws it, it misses, but it comes back like a boomerang, slices the false sovereign's hand off, releasing her, and then she charges up her bow, almost kind of like how she did at the end of part 1 of 2.6. But she doesn't fire it at the false sovereign. She fires it towards Septimont, and it literally creates like an aftershock that wipes out all the TDs and the false sovereign itself. Now, in a way, I wonder, is this like a her seeing not exactly the dark tide attacking, but when she used her power to help Augusta and Rover defeat the false sovereign, which erased her from the world. Who who knows? Like it, because like I don't want to sit here and say, oh, she wrote herself in as the hero. But I mean, it seems like that's exactly what she did when we see this mural. Is her saving Septimon, but that also looks like the temple that is in the plateau. But I love this imagery back here. The moon, which is her, this is pretty much her weapon right here. It's the chakram pretty much, and her bow. But also a moon with the sun in the middle, representing her and Augusta. So maybe I'm looking too much into that, but I don't know. Like it's hard to say with Wuthering Waves what exactly is going to happen, because they do throw a little bit of foreshadowing into their showcases. But man, 2.6 part 2, like I'm really wondering if this will wrap up like the Septimont story, and then 2.7 will be the Dark Tide. And then 2.8, if there is one, will be the ending of Resonator and going into the next region, which is rumored to be New Federation. And I think that's where Chisa is going to come in. I think Chisa is going to be a New Federation character. Because her sailor school uniform does not fit Septimon. It doesn't fit Resonator. It definitely doesn't. It doesn't fit Hulong and Shinjo and all that. Like it, I think she's a first. I think she will be our introduction into that, because like I think Galbrena will be the end. Will be like the Dark Tide patch, and maybe Chu Yan will be like a return to Hulong before we wrap up everything. I don't know, because he's a Hulong character. But we'll just see. We'll definitely see. I think the last 2.x update is 2.8 from what leakers are saying, and then we'll go into 3.0. But I'm excited. I'm excited to see 2.6 wrap up in part 2 in just a couple of days now. But I hope y'all enjoyed it. If you did, please hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, click that like button, leave a comment, all that good stuff. If you guys want to see me do my pulls for Iuno in a couple of days as like a live stream or something, or just a clip, let me know. But I'm going to get out of here because I got more stuff to record. But as always, guys, this is Cannan. Me and Jess love you all very, very much. Please stay safe out there. Take care of yourselves. And I will see you in the next one. See ya.